Welcome. You have entered the Vault of Shadows. I am the Headless Horselessman. Yet again, welcome you to the Vault. It is October 1st, officially. Halloween season for everyone is here. Some people are like, oh, I can't celebrate until October 1st, whatever. Nevertheless, these people, come on, enjoy life. Extend things that are fun longer. There are no rules that tell you can't. Anyway, I want to talk about another piece of mail. Been getting a lot of mail, and I got a piece of mail asking me if I could have an animal. Since I don't have a horse, what animal would I have since I'm the Headless Horselessman? And we don't want to talk about the guy with the horse. We've been through that. What would I have? Great question. Great question. The answer is I haven't thought about it. It would be nice to have an animal that would be like me, not headless, but a ghost companion, kind of, you know? Yeah, I would like it to be something I could ride. But what is that going to be if it's not a horse? What are you left with? You don't have many options. A zebra? Maybe I don't know. Then I'd be, at least me, not you, the Headless Zebraman? I don't know what other animals really would fit into that. So I had to think about that more, but it's a great question. If not something to ride though, I think it might be nice to just have it might just be nice to have a dog or a cat, although cats, depends on the cat. But yeah, that would be nice to have. Just have an animal comrade here who could, I just so you know, my stump sometimes gets very, I get sweaty here in the stump area, and I'm just adjusting that to kind of cooling the stump a bit, you know. Folks with a head, you do that with your neck. Still a neck here, still sweaty. But yeah, I don't know, but that's a great question. Thanks. Keep the mail coming. You can send it to enterthevaultofshadows@gmail.com. Well, we are going to kick off the Halloween 2024 season proper, the month of October 2024, by looking at what is known, according to their marketing, and I think it's pretty accurate, the icon of Halloween, the GhostFace mask. Now, I got in back when I had a head, way back in the probably late 90s. I got into mask collecting because of GhostFace masks. Loved the Scream movies, well, the first two. And then I liked Scream 4, but that was in the, 2011. And I collected some of the masks, bought, I should say, back then, way back, probably Scream 2 era, or well, Scream 3. And that got me interested. And then, of course, I got into Michael Myers many years later, and that began a love affair with masks in general. And by then, no head. Actually, didn't have the head then, but I was still collecting the masks. I still love them, and I can wear them, kind of, I mean, it's a thing. We won't talk about it. That's a trade secret, and we don't need to get into it. But I am going to go over with you just a couple of the new GhostFace masks that are available. And they're really the same mask, but they are available in different places. There are different price points. They've been tagged differently, but they're all very significant because these are what those of us in the Scream mask, GhostFace mask community, really GhostFace more accurately than Scream, we would call these, because they are the EU mask, the EU stamped mask. And I'll explain that when we're looking at them. We're going to look at a few offerings here from some different locations that I have traveled to in this Halloween season and picked up a few here. So without further ado, let us look at these masks, GhostFace masks. And it's exciting. A lot of GhostFace fans are very happy to see these EUs back, and I'll explain why that is when we take a look at them. And we're going to do that now. All right, kids, here we are in the Vault of Shadows, and we are going to take a look at these masks. And to the either untrained or uninterested eye, there may be not much of a difference, but I just want to go over briefly the differences here and just kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. So this is what is known in the community, and my copy is a little dirty. It's been in a box because it's not one of my favorites. And it is what we call the ultra white, all right? And I think that's probably also what, I don't know, but I think that's what Fun World, who of course makes GhostFace masks, I think that's what they call it as well. I think this is considered to be the ultra white mask. And so you'll notice in this lighting, you'll notice there's quite a shine there. which I'm not a fan of. And this is a harder, it's not going to do any good hitting it there, but it's a harder mask than these others we're about to look at. And it's what we've had now since, I want to say 2012, 2013, I could be wrong, but these took over in the marketplace, and this is all that we were seeing as insofar as being able to just buy the mask on its own. This was all you could get. Ultra whites, they were everywhere. Walmart, Target, Party City, Spirit Halloween, you name it, they were everywhere. At Walgreens, that was going to be your only option. And not great masks. I don't think they're great. I mean, they're great because they're GhostFace. They do have a nice shape. Sometimes you have to look for them, or you can reshape them pretty easily with a hair dryer or a heat gun, whichever one you want to use. It's got the standard polyester shroud. It's an okay mask. I mean, I honestly, if I were going to buy one of these, and they do have these out as well in 2024, probably stock from plenty of years where they didn't sell these, all of them. Were I going to use this, it would be on an outdoor prop, just because the vinyl here probably would last better, and I wouldn't care so much if it wasn't that great. Now, I will say, positive thing about these is that they usually have, as this one does, and I couldn't tell you what year this is, the tag is long gone, but there's very dark mesh here in the eyes, which is when you want that, right? And some of the later masks in this particular line, or I should say this version, this variant, the ultra whites, they did not have the best in terms of mesh. So that's always a problem. That's easily fixed. You just need to get a hot glue gun, and you can get some black see-through material, and you can fix it pretty easily. This, I think, is a good shaped mask here, and all GhostFace masks always look a little better, I think, when they're a little bit, they're going to be flat when you buy them. You can kind of just shape them again a little bit with a heat gun, hair dryer, whatever it is. So that's not terrible. And as a GhostFace lover of the mask, of the design for decades now, I mean, I buy these sometimes just because, especially if they're on clearance, like, well, I'll just get another one because that's called the addiction, kids, or collecting. But anyway, we have that. And then this year, now these three are from this year, and as I said before, these are all EU stamped. Well, actually, two are EU stamped. The others are not, or one in the middle isn't. So let's talk about this one first, right? So Walmart is coming in strong this year, and they have got these, which is the aged mask, it's called, and of course it was in the film Scream 6, which if you look here, you'll see Scream 6 there. I have nothing, you don't want to hear my thoughts on the current movies with the title Scream on them, so we're just not going to we're just pretend they don't exist for a second. We're going to move on. But these masks are really cool. I have them ones from last year as well. I didn't bring one in here to down to the vault to compare, but there is some poor shape. These, I love how Walmart is like, let's just put these in boxes. I know space is a consideration for them. They've got a lot of merchandise, but you're going to have to do some reshaping unless you don't care. But these will need that, and so you would want to get that heat gun here and kind of get this out. But I do think, I mean, again, compared to some of the ones that I found, I did go through several of these before I purchased this one. I think the paint job is really good. I think it has some nice gradations in color and texturing. The cracked look, by the way, it's kind of like the Michael Myers mask from the 2018 film. This is not how latex or vinyl ages. Whoa. By the way, it didn't make that noise because it's that hard of a mask. There is, which is great that Fun World is doing this. Fun World, if you're watching, please keep doing this. We as fans love it, and collectors. There's a plastic insert in here, and that helps it to keep its shape. Now, because it was, like I said, jammed in a box at Walmart on a shelf with several others, it's lost a little of its shape, but it's still, and I'm noticing here, and again, this is just an easy fix, but that there's a misshapenness here in the mouth. This is one of the better ones I could find, okay? These are side tags. So there's the side tag, aged GhostFace, $9.98, kids. To get an aged GhostFace mask, which will have a hanger tag, okay, and probably a better paint job because it's possible. Want to give just have to give credit to Drowned Boy Productions, Douglas, who knows infinitely more than I do. He said that possibly there are different molds being used for these versus other stores like Spirit. Not sure. He's not sure. I'm certainly not sure. But I would imagine that's the case. I did notice in one of his videos, and then I noticed at Walmart, some have very pronounced seam lines, okay, right here, and then some don't. You'll notice under here, Easter Unlimited, made in China. That's the EU stamp, okay? So these are not the same kind of vinyl that we're about to look at here with the, what I call classic GhostFace, but they're EU stamped, okay? So these came out last year, I think it was, and they were not that easy to find. They're a lot easier to find this year. So this is one, it's got a dent in it, but you want to go through, and again, I think if you squeeze it and you shape it, it looks great, as with probably any mask really, especially if you're getting it off a shelf, it's been in a box, or it's mailed to you. All right, now, great. Those two, I think, are fine masks. Let's talk about the best, the classic. This right here, kids. When I saw these at the Wally World in boxes, I almost cried. I really did, because I had not seen actually an EU stamped with this particular vinyl. There's you probably can't see it that well, but you've got Easter Unlimited stamped there. I hadn't seen one of these in years in terms of being a standard mask, and it was just beautiful. It was reunited, and it feels so good. Began to play in my mind, not in the store. That would have been just weird. How did they know what I was thinking and feeling? But anyway, this mask here is the classic GhostFace mask. If you are saying to yourself, so I've never purchased a GhostFace mask, I maybe for a costume, maybe I just want to have it as a Halloween decoration, just whatever it might be, this is the one, kids. Notice also the price, $8.98. Now, what is frustrating, and I wish that this is personal preference really, I do wish that Fun World would get rid of this mask in their photos. This is the reshoot mask from Scream 4, and sometimes called the Walgreens mask. I never found it at my local Walgreens, and boy, did I hunt back in 2011. Never found those. But they use that as the stock GhostFace image, not only at the top, but even the little GhostFace above GhostFace. And GhostFace Lives is the new branding, actually new last year. And you've got a bit of a write-up here, the icon of Halloween, which I'm not going to read all of that. But this is beautiful. Now, there's no smell-o-vision yet. We're waiting, Elon, but there's no smell-o-vision yet. But we do have back in this mask and a mask that was released several years ago called the 25th anniversary mask. We have the soft vinyl again, and kids, we've got the vanilla scent. That's right, if you didn't know, GhostFace masks going back, the original, before they were actually called GhostFace, all right? Long story short, before Wes Craven laid eyes on this mask and decided it would be the mask of the killer in his film, these were called Fantastic Faces, as part of a line called Fantastic Faces. This is the peanut-eyed ghost design, so called by Fun World, and they had vanilla in the latex. So when you wore these masks, you know, it was nice to cover up your sweat, and it smelled like, to me, when I smell this, and of course you can't we're not there yet. Come on, get on it, folks that are brilliant. When I smell this, it smells like Halloween to me. It smells like a full Halloween pumpkin pail, right? You've gone out, you've collected your candy, or you've got your candy in a pail to give out, and all those different candies kind of come together, and it's this almost sickeningly sweet, wonderful vanilla smell, candy smell. This is that. Now, it's not sickeningly sweet, thankfully, okay? It's perfect. And what's great is I have several of these now because of my OCD tendencies. I just keep buying them. And my wife is like, how many do you need of those? I'm like, I don't know. How many flat things with a heel on the bottom do you need to put on your feet? And then she can't really come back to that. Although, yes, shoes obviously going to be more practical. Nevertheless, I keep buying them. They all have this wonderful smell, and I have enough of them now in the vault here where there's that lovely Halloween to me scent, that wonderful vanilla scent. Not overpowering, not sickening, just wonderful. It's nostalgia, kids, right there. And I'm a little young, or old rather, to back when I grew up, GhostFace, these masks didn't exist, but that smell takes me back to when I was a kid, back in the 1900s, before I lost my head. Now, here's the tagged variant. Here's the deal with this variant, okay? One, you're gonna notice a little bit, and I noticed this when I purchased it, but I went through several, got this at Walgreens, okay? So these are showing up in the following places: Walmart, as well as the aged. These on tags, Walgreens. You're gonna probably find some of these ultra whites anywhere you go, Target, etc. There's a bunch of these still at Spirit Halloween, Party City. Party City has these as well, they're on tags. And I didn't see any aged at my Party City, but my Party City's not great. But the shape here much better, obviously, because this has not been stuffed in a box with like 12 other masks. This has been hanging on a nice hang tag. It was taken out of the box, hung on a tag, and over time, however long, it's been kind of, gravity's pulling it a little bit, but still, it's got the plastic insert. We love you, Fun World. Thank you for doing this. It's wonderful. And I like these personally. I like these better because I can hang them on my wall. I have several hung on my wall of differing kinds. You've got the nice hang tag hole. Again, we've got the reshoot mask, GhostFace. GhostFace lives, and just Scream right here. So no mention of Scream 6 or any particular film, just Scream. And then we've got the write-up on the back. So for the dedicated GhostFace collectors, I'm sure that, I'm not sure, I know they go through and they look for variants of the tags, things of that nature. I'm not that dedicated, but I do know what I love. And this is a pristine, beautiful EU stamped mask, soft vinyl that smells like vanilla. And that's what you want, man. It just doesn't get more classic than that. And that is the icon of Halloween. I mean, when we talk about Halloween in the 90s and then into the early 2000s when GhostFace was everywhere, and still every Halloween, somebody, could be a kid, I've seen babies, there are baby costumes, you're gonna see GhostFace more than once likely. And to me, this is the year, if you've never bought one of these, if you said, I think I'm gonna get a GhostFace mask, and maybe not to wear it, maybe you just wanna have fun with it, decoration, whatever, put it on a prop skeleton or a mannequin, knock yourself out, whatever you wanna do. This is the year to get them. These are the ones to get. Again, Walgreens will have the hang tags. Party City had some. I went to a store not far from where I dwell, and it's called Ultimate Party. They had several of these on the hang tags. Where else would you find hang tags? I didn't see any at Spirit Halloween except for the 25th anniversary. By the way, I mentioned that mask earlier. It's this same wonderful mask here, right? But then it's got a sparkly shroud that comes down longer than this one. It's almost like a collar, like a monk's collar that they would have, cowl really on the hood, and then you had the cowl below it, right? And that's kind of what we have going on with the 25th anniversary. It has a sparkle fabric. Those are great too. They're gonna cost you a little bit more based on whatever store you go to. This, I wanna say, being at Walgreens, doesn't have the price, but I think I paid $14.99. So for the tag, you're gonna pay a little bit much. Why? I don't know. I don't work for Fun World. You buy these, $8.98. Same mask, exactly same mask, same hood. One has a hang tag, one doesn't. So that your mileage may vary. If you're gonna clip the tag off anyway, you don't need the hang tag, right? I collect them. So there you have it. The other masks that are out, there are several variants this year that have gotten more and more popular. There are bling masks. Honestly, I don't get it. You would have to draw me a flow chart maybe, or some kind of a PowerPoint presentation to get me to understand the appeal of the bling. Everything's blinged now. There are bling skull masks. I saw a bling machete, a bling mask, GhostFace mask. It's harder plastic for those, and they're covered with that bedazzled stuff, but it's like a purse. It's like, okay, that's great. I don't get it. They're different. Now there's pink and green came out last year for these. So that's not me. That's not for me. But, for those people that want it, it's out there. If you're interested, if you hear that and go, man, maybe I'd buy that. That's going to be at Spirit. That's going to be at Party City, online in both cases as well. Wally World now has, to use this mask as a comparison or an example, they have the bling mask, but then they've got like red, so they're white stones or silver, whatever color you want to say, and then there's like red here to look like blood, right? So those are, again, if that's your thing, that's very cool. Those are out, and they're going to be with these and these, right? They're going to be in that area in a box, like 10, 12 copies jammed in a box. You got to love Walmart, or not. Yeah, we keep going. Isn't that the horror? We keep going to Walmart. But yeah, these, man, I'm going to smell it, even though I don't have a head. I'm holding it up to where my head would be. And that's just how it works, okay? Don't question. That's how it works for me. Being headless, I can still smell. And it's so great. You got to go smell it for yourself. This year, what you're going to find when you go into that part of the aisle at the Wally World, specifically, there's so many packed in those boxes, you're going to smell something and go, is that the candy? Probably the masks. Beautiful thing. So there you go, kids. These are your options. This is just a few of the options, but in terms of these particular masks, the classic EU stamp mask. These are your best options. If you want to spend very little money, this is going to be the way to go. Do they have these, by the way, in children's sizes? They don't, that I'm aware of. Spirit might have some. If Spirit has any, they're going to probably be ultra whites. Maybe that's something. Or, now I say that, if you bought the kids' GhostFace mask, they probably would have an EU stamped, but won't have a shroud. And your mileage may vary. You tie it behind, has a bib here, you tie it behind your head. Same with the adult costumes usually. But this is a beauty. Thank you, Fun World, for bringing this back. I hope this never leaves shelves again. This might, I don't know if it's a price thing or what. These are okay. Please let us have these forever and make these, go away. Or make them, every other season you put out more of these and just a few of these, whatever you got to do. But this truly is the icon of Halloween. Thank you for entering the Vault of Shadows yet again as I drop this mask. Thank you for entering, and happy Halloween.